Hello and welcome to Demanding to be Seen. In this video I'm just going to be explaining how the class is organized. The topic for this class is the way in which people have been underrepresented and misrepresented in the media. By media we mean television, films, books, music, so forth. But more than that, looking at the way in the past decade or so there have been attempts to rectify this problem, to make sure a wider, more diverse set of voices, set of people are represented, some of the challenges that have arisen in the process of doing that, some of the ways in which that's been successful, some of the places we still have room to improve. The only required text for this class is a Netflix account and then access, the ability to make videos, access to the internet. Everything else will be made available on Canvas. The content for this class does include addressing discrimination, violence, including sexual violence, and other difficult to discuss and potentially painful topics. I will attempt to let people know when there's going to be content specific of that nature in the materials, but I won't be doing it for everything, it won't be extensive, so be aware going in that we are dealing with adult and sometimes triggering or difficult material. I recommend that you don't approach the material in stress, that instead you make sure you have plenty of time. I know this is easier said than done, but to process. I hope we'll be here to support each other in the discussions. And also there's a list of resources on campus in the info sheets that you can utilize. A little bit about myself. My name is Jamie. I do prefer to be called Jamie and not doctor or professor or anything, and certainly not sir. I graduated from UW-Eau Claire with a major in political science, minor in women's studies. I do live now in Indiana, so I'm a ways away. It's a long story why I'm still teaching there, but I am. And I am queer and genderqueer. I have a huge interest in this area. I love it, and I've been teaching this class for a couple of years now, and I really enjoy teaching it. And as you are all aware, we are in the middle of the ongoing collapse of civilization right now, and we're going to do our best to work with that. I know people are going to have challenges. There's a lot of flexibility built into the course. Certainly if you need, extensions and so forth, I'm able to provide those. You'll see the policies for those in the info sheets. But just know that, we're all aware that everyone's facing difficult times, and we're there to support you. So let's talk about the graded assignments in this class. I do use points grading, so that means everything builds on top of each other, so you get points. There's a total of 1,050 points, and you can see in the general info sheet how those points break down for different grades. For everything that's due in the class, there will be an assignment info sheet that will tell you, hopefully, everything you need to know about it. So go and look there whenever you have an assignment coming up so you can know what you're supposed to be doing. But I'm going to go over them. First, you're going to be doing material responses. These are to give your thoughts, your impressions of the material sets that we look at every week. You're going to be doing 2 of these every week for most of the semester. There's a couple of weeks we don't have them. For a total of 20 of them, there's 15 points each. That's 300 points. There will be 24 opportunities, so you'll be able to drop or skip a couple. These are due Tuesdays at 8 p.m. That's before the Wednesday discussion, and we'll be discussing the material that was due the previous night in those Wednesday sessions. If you look in the info sheet, you have a selection of prompts that you can respond to. Pick whichever prompts you like, and you can see the word count and everything in there. You're going to post these to the discussion forums. A couple of the prompts require you to respond to other people, but not all of them, so you don't have to pick those if you don't want to. I'm very open on grading these. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for you to show that you've, thoroughly analyzed and understood everything perfectly. I'm looking to see evidence that people are exploring, engaging with the material, reflecting on it, and so forth. We'll be having weekly discussions. You'll attend one discussion. There are 4 different possible time slots. They're on Wednesdays, 10 a.m., noon, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. You choose. Each discussion is worth 15 points. There's a total of 13 opportunities, 12 of them scores, so you drop 1 for a total of 180 points. There's some larger assignments in the class. The first one, and my favorite one, is the selected media assignment. What you're going to be doing for that is picking a piece of media, probably a film that you like that I haven't done for the class, and introducing it to the rest of us. We'll watch it, we'll talk about it, you'll find some other materials to go along with it, some questions that you want to ask. So it's basically an opportunity to share something that you think is great or interesting, or that you want to know more about, or that you're excited about, with everybody, and for us all to participate. And apart from anything, this is an opportunity for me to learn about new media, which I'm always excited by. You're also going to do 2 pitches. These are basically you coming up with ideas for existing shows or new shows, and we'll talk more about what you need to do for that. But the idea of these assignments is to give you a sense of what it's like from the other side, what it's like to think about what kind of representation might be in a show or might be in a movie, what kinds of questions people need to consider when they're putting these together. Those, I think, are fun assignments. They're challenging. They're often something that people haven't done before, but students typically get a lot out of them. And then there'll just be a final synthesis, which is basically a video where you answer some questions about your experience of the course overall. That's going to be your final. Please be excellent to each. Online classes are hard. They take a lot of time. The time that you would normally be in class becomes homework time. And because this is a media studies class, we are watching lots of films, we're doing materials about the films, and that can be time consuming. Hopefully that work is fun for you. I assume that since you signed up for a media studies class, you're interested in watching movies and so forth. And it's work that you can often multitask and do housework or something at the same time. But it will require you to spend a significant amount of time on the class in order to get things done. I strongly recommend you schedule that into your week. You don't just try and fit it around other things, but actually put time in your calendar when you're going to dedicate to doing the work for the class. I do accept late work. It loses 10% per day it's late. I also almost always grant extensions. For an extension, I require 2 things. I require you to give me a date the extension is until. I don't grant open-ended extensions, so you might say, I can do it next Friday the 8th or whatever. And then I also require you to have a short plan, just a sentence or 2, for how you're going to get the work done by that date. The idea here is to set you up to succeed with an extension rather than just to keep a piece of work hovering over you. That said, a lot of the work for this class is required by other people, in particular your selected media, so that they can do their work. So I do encourage you to make sure that you're there for your classmates in terms of putting together the work that they need in order to build off of, because we support each other here. And then finally on attendance, there's no formal attendance here, but I do think it's very important that at least once a week you're checking in with the class. Hopefully that'll be easy because of all the things that are due every week, but I will be watching on campus to make sure people are checking in. Let's talk some about discussions. So there are not correct answers to these questions. These are genuinely difficult questions that incredibly smart people have not formed conclusions on, that people have strong feelings about, that people approach from different perspectives and that are important to them. And so we need to be able to discuss these in an open way, accepting the possibility that not only that we might not be right, but there isn't a single right answer. I certainly don't know how I feel about all of these questions, and I hope that will be revealed as we go along. So I encourage you to come to discussion with that attitude. This is a striving, right? Social justice isn't something that we just achieve and we're done. It's something that is a continuous process, and that process requires thinking carefully and being open to new ideas and considering different perspectives and so forth. I do not expect you to know anything coming into this class, and if you do not know something, if you are ignorant about something, if you have questions that are unanswered, if there's, things you've heard that you just don't understand, you are in the right place for it. This is a university. What we do here is try and learn things that we don't know. Some of you will be coming in with a lot of knowledge on some topics, maybe many topics. We do here. Some people will be coming in fresh. There's no prereq for this class. We're going to spend the first couple of weeks doing a crash course basically on a lot of the concepts you need to know. So hopefully that'll get people up to speed. But please do ask questions. Please, don't think that I expect you to know all the terminology about LGBTQ or what, different questions are around gender, what those mean, what people have talked about them. I certainly don't expect you to know lots of, media terms and how films are made and what different camera angles are and stuff like that. So please do feel free and open to ask those questions, to not have that knowledge. And for folks that do have that knowledge, please do share that, and please do, bring that expertise to the class, but also please be thoughtful that not everyone in the class is at the same journey in every direction of learning that all of us are, right? So, please make this a welcoming space where people can not know things and feel open to not know things. The topics we're going to discuss here are personal for people. For the types of marginalization, of underrepresentation, misrepresentation we're going to talk about, there will be people in this class who are members of those communities that have been hurt in that way historically and are still being hurt. For the different experiences that we'll talk about, there will be people in this class who have had those experiences. It can be easy, we have these stereotypes of college students, right, of where they are in life and what experiences that they've had. It can be easy to assume that everyone in college is like that. That's not the case at all. There is a really diverse range of people in college, and many of them have had different experiences. So please be thoughtful about that. When you're talking about groups of people, talk about them as if you're talking to their face, because you often are. And, don't make assumptions about whole groups. Don't act like it is something that's completely strange to have this experience or be part of it, because it's not, and because there will be people here who have had those experiences. Also, one more thing, don't cheat. There's not a lot of opportunities to cheat in this class, so it's not going to be a big problem. The biggest thing is cite your sources. If you are talking about something that's assigned material for this class, so we're going to watch Into the Spider-Verse, if you are talking about that, then you don't have to do a complex citation for it because it's the film we've assigned, so we know about it. But if you're pulling anything from outside of the class, any other material, you need to cite that. Feel free to do that. Please do include that in your discussion posts if you want to, but you need to cite it. That's the biggest thing. I'm not going to go through all the resources, but please do look at the resource section. There's also some tips for online classes with some resources in there, how to make YouTube videos and so forth. These resources are there for you. There are many people on campus who have dedicated their entire careers to helping students that are having a wide variety of different challenges. You've already paid for those resources on your tuition. You're entitled to them. Make sure you're using them. It's one of the wonderful things about college is that you have all this support to help you learn. So take advantage of that. On a personal note, I'm a student with a disability. I put off getting help with that for a long time. It's stigmatized, I didn't think it applied to me. And when I finally went into the right office and got the accommodations I needed, it was a small thing that made a really significant difference to how accessible learning was for me. So please don't hesitate to use those resources if you need them. And that is all. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope everyone enjoys the class.